Well, back in the server room with an update on the 10 gig upgrade. So far everything seems to be working fine. These cables seem to be okay with how they're sitting behind the door. If the rack weren't so populated, it would be nice to shift these posts back just a little bit, but yeah. Well, hi there. What are you doing? Overall, I haven't been able to saturate the 10 gig as I believe I discussed in the other video. That's mostly just the limitations of the SSDs in the machine. I am going to be doing some upgrades and kind of shifting around of things. I'm in the works of getting a PCI Express to NVMe adapter for the top R720. I did want to get this back to the point where it's dual GPUs, but I decided it might be more beneficial to have faster storage. Onyx, what are you doing? He sees plastic bags and wants to chew on them. But I think I'm going to put the NVMe though in my top one just so I have fast storage there. I am eventually going to relegate a GPU for this lower server, and I don't really know what the purpose of that is going to be for. Right now, this server, the fans are running a little higher than normal because I have a video game that I'm running that's streaming. So it's generating more heat. It's using a lot more power too. I think 322 watts. I think that one normally idled around 200. So yeah, that game's drawn a little over 100 watts to run and stream. One of the nice things that I've gained from having this 10 gig is I don't have to sweat going between all the different machines and saturating my gigabit connection. So like I can back up from this to my primary backup or my cold storage simultaneously and still have enough bandwidth, since the solid state drives in here can saturate basically 4 gigabit. So in theory, I should be able to have 4 1 gigabit connections hitting this server at the same time. In reality, probably not. It's, it's whatever, I don't know. Basically, what I've gained is the ability to hit this as hard as I want within reason. So what I've been doing a lot of recently is I have 2 different PCs that are streaming video, and I'm saving the footage to my NAS on this server. And I'm still able to do other stuff to copy files from various PCs and run virtual machines, so that's been great. Once I add the NVMe to this, I'm going to be moving all my YouTube stuff to it so I can do faster scrubbing, mostly for video editing. I may throw some other stuff on there as well, but I haven't quite figured that out. I'm going to be theoretically provisioning 3 terabytes of NVMe for storage purposes, but that'll be a video to come here in the future once those parts come in. Dusty. It would be nice to have some solid state in my backup server, but I don't really know if I'll benefit from it, to be honest. Because realistically, as fast as I can hit these solid state drives, I could just provision a drive over the network to a virtual machine on this server. But yeah. So the other thing I'm working on is a new PC for myself, and I forget what this is. It's a Precision 5820 tower. I think it's like a W2155 Xeon or something like that. It's a pretty hefty 6 or 8 core Xeon, but I don't know what I'm doing with this yet. I tried getting it on the 10 gig network using a X520 card and using shoot, I forget what it's called. I think it's iPerf. I was able to get a 10 gig connection from this to my switch to a VM on this box that had 10 gig network connectivity, and it was saturating the 10 gig. But if I tried copying a file from my NAS through that X520 to the switch to the server, I was getting like 10 megabytes a second, and I don't know why. So I'm kind of unhappy about that. What I would really like to do is just virtualize my PC on this server and then use port extenders to get that PC into my office, but I think that's going to be more trouble than it's worth. Also thought about remoting into the server, but there's too much latency, and I don't know. If I could find a better way to do it, I should see if the paid version of Parsec gives lower latency than the free version, but based on my experiences with Parsec on my local network, it's been kind of disappointing. So the dream of putting my PC in the rack probably isn't happening, to my disappointment. Also, I gotta figure out why this thing is just so darn slow. Like, it just takes forever to boot. Not like I reboot my PC ever, but the whole point of an upgrade from what I have right now is I want it to be significantly faster. Problem is I don't want to spend money on it. I basically got this for pennies on the dollar. Because I believe Dell still sells these actually, and I think the config that this is in, when I looked it up on Dell's site, I want to say it's like in the $1,000 range, which seems absurd. I don't even think that thing's too old. Let's see. Manufacture date, 2018. Alright, that's 5 years old. So, whoops. I guess it's a bit old. But this thing is just terribly slow to boot. I haven't messed with it otherwise. I mean, I assume it's a decent PC otherwise. I'm kind of thinking it'd be nice to have NVMe. But honestly, what I'm really tempted to do is make an R730 my personal desktop. Onyx, you're showing off how naughty you're being because I'm filming. You're not supposed to be in here normally. Whee! Where you go? You're gonna roll around? But yeah. So I want to get more 10 gig networking going. If some of the other networking cards I have are compatible with TrueNAS, I may throw a 10 gig network card in that. But this is just my cold storage. It's hardly ever on. What I really want to do with this is I want to get this in a 2U chassis and change a few other things up, because this is just wasting rack space. It's not like I need the rack space, but it is kind of annoying. Plus, it's not on proper rails. Onyx, don't be naughty. Hey. Stinker. I'm always playing with under there. Hopefully not toys. Oh. I don't think there's anything to reach. But, yeah, I'd like to get this down to 2U. I'm going to also need to beef up how much storage space it has, because between the two VMs I'm going to have on this, or well, it's actually all going to be in one VM. The TrueNAS VM I have on this, the storage that's provisioned to it is going to total 8 terabytes, and this I think barely has 5. I think I'm running RAID Z3 with 8 1 terabyte drives, if I remember correctly. So I'm gonna have some problems doing my backups, and it's gonna take some reconfiguring. I gotta kind of think about the structure, I guess, of all this. There's some upgrades I'm gonna be doing to this server as well. I'm gonna be adding a USB card to it that I'm gonna pass through to a VM for my cat nanny cam stream, because I'm just tired of the random power outages taking that out, and I don't want to have to put it on a battery backup. I may also consider just using a laptop for that. I don't know quite for sure yet. The nice thing about the all-in-one PC I was using is I don't have to worry about the cats knocking the webcam over, and it's in a spot that's convenient for me. But if I put a USB card in this server, then I can run a USB port extender up into my patch panel into the corresponding port wherever that PC is. But I don't know. That's a work in progress like everything else. So, the other exciting thing that I might be doing, I haven't decided yet, is I got these Alcatel Lucent switches. And these are, I don't remember how many ports. I think they're 48 port. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, 48 port SFP plus 10 gigabit, and then 6 ports of QSFP 40 gigabit. Not sure how they get the 72. I guess if these break out into 4 ports, this would be 24. Yeah, that's because the model number on this is OS 6900X72, and with these bigger ports, usually I think they're called QSFP. There's a few variations, and I'm still not quite up to speed on the names, but you can get like breakouts that'll convert these into 4 ports, because Q stands for quad, and that's kind of how they're getting their speeds. Is basically 4 SFP ports in a single port is the way I understand it from what I've read. But I got a pair of these. I can't figure out what they're worth. And the frustrating part is the pinout for the console port is non-standard. And I can't find genuine console cables for them, and I can't find documentation that tells me what the pinout is. So what I'm going to have to do, I don't have one handy. I have one of those little serial to RJ45 adapters. Not like the Cisco rollover cable, but it's just a DB9 male to RJ45 female adapter. I don't think I have any nearby. Oh, actually I do. So here we are. So I have one of these, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out where these pins are going in relation to the RJ45, and I'm going to probably cut a cable, and then on the end of here I'm going to try to reverse engineer what the pinout is, and then use either a breadboard, or I'll just really crudely twist the wires together to make a compatible serial cable. Because right now with this rollover cable, if I plug it in and then I power the switch on and I look at the console output, I just get gibberish. And they are working. I didn't try passing network traffic through them, but you'll notice there's 2 SFP modules in here, and that's because I was using this fiber cable. And I was like, well, fastest way to see if this switch works is create a switching loop. And yeah, the port's lit up, so this is booting and seems to be working. The final test will be passing network traffic. The nice thing about these is they are surprisingly quiet. Like, I don't think these are much louder than my EX3300 48P switch made by Juniper. And that's just a PoE plus 4 gigabit switch. So, yeah. And then I'll have to see if I can jerry-rig some rails for this. I'm hoping the hole spacing is something that's compatible. Otherwise, I may take some existing rails I have and drill holes in them to make the hole spacing work. Also, I will be doing a teardown on one of these here, hopefully in the future. Won't be a total teardown. Mostly I just want to see what's under the cover. But yeah, these are in the running to go in my rack. Otherwise, I'll take a little walk here. I gotta make sure there's no personal information on these switches. Let's see here. looks like I removed it already. Oh, I gotta remove that though. So I have a couple different options here for alternative. Oh no. Alternative switches for 10 gig. I'll uncover the camera here in a second. Sorry. Kind of crude. I didn't really plan this out very well. Alright. So if I exclusively want 10 gig, I got my choice between this Nexus 5010 and these 4500X series switches. I don't remember what the fan noise was like on these though. I think this one wasn't terrible. Otherwise, I don't think I've powered these on quite yet. And I'd probably keep the one without the expansion, because if I need more than 16 of those 10 gig ports, I might be in trouble. Yeah, really the only stuff that's going to be going on the 10 gig is the servers. But yeah, I'm not sure what the future holds on that. I'm thinking, since I have it and the price is right, I might set something back so I have more 10 gig functionality. The SFP Plus is a little bit of a bummer, because then I need either DACs or transceivers, or I need to buy SFP Plus to RJ45 modules, which are still too expensive in my opinion. But I don't know. It's really nice having the 10 gig and knowing that I can hit something and not mess something else up, because that was one issue I was having with my stuff. Was I'd do a backup and, oh well, I guess I can't copy files off the file server anymore if I need them. So yeah, who knows? Here's Smokey. I don't know what he's up to, but both the cats apparently are starving for attention. Oh, I got your little tail. Oh, got that little tail. Ooh. Oh, poor kitty. You gonna come back for more? Give you some aggressive head rubs. Gonna massage those naughty thoughts out of your little brain. Oh, but yeah, that pretty much sums that up. I have some things to consider. What'd be really nice is, I don't know. It would be really nice if everything was 10 gig. And then I had 40 gig on my servers. But then I would need faster drives for 40 gig or more of them. But yeah, hopefully that wasn't too much of a ramble. There will be some more videos coming out in the future once I do the upgrades I want to do. And we'll kind of go from there. So hopefully that was interesting, and thanks for watching.